What's up, everyone? Welcome. Welcome to another episode of the Niner Sickness Podcast this evening on Sunday afternoon. How's everybody doing today? I hope you guys are having a wonderful evening. I decided to do a podcast at this hour because earlier today, I decided to do a Madden game, Niners versus the Lambs. And for some reason, I was having technical difficulties with my system and the internet. It kept switching from my internet to my phone internet, which is kind of weird. But we are here today. We're going to talk 49er football. OTAs have ended, and next week we start the mandatory minicamp. Mandatory minicamp. What does mandatory minicamp mean? Well, it means that all the veterans need to show up. They need to attend and participate. These last two OTAs that the Niners had, they were totally unmandatory. So if the vets wanted to show up, they could. If they didn't, they didn't have to. But starting Tuesday, they all have to show up. What's up, Jimmy Perez? What's up, Beto? Saludos de California. You're in Cali too, brother. What part of Cali? Daniel Barry Sports Highlight says, what's up? We got Alfonso McLaurin in the house. What's up, Niner brother? How you doing, sir? So, mandatory mini camp starts next week. Then we're going to have a break. And then training camp starts in late July. And before we know it, football season will be here. Football season will be here. And I'll be excited to see what happens this season. This is an interesting season. This is going to be an interesting season, to say the least. Because we've been to two NFC championship games and we haven't been able to punch it in. Two NFC championship games and we haven't been able to punch it in. What is it going to take? What do the Niners need to do to get ahead of this blocking or this wall, if you will? What do the Niners need to do to get over this wall and get into the Super Bowl and win it? I mean, it's nice to go to the NFC Championship game twice in a year. That means your team is good, is relevant. But at the end of the day, I want the sixth Lombardi trophy. I don't know about you guys, but I want the sixth Lombardi trophy. We beat everyone in the West last year. We swept everybody. We set the Seahawks. We swept the Cardinals. We swept the Rams. Will the Niners sweep everybody once again? Or do you guys feel that the Seahawks did enough by drafting to give us competition this year? What's up, Daniel Cantu? What's up, brother? We got Damien in the house.
What's up, Damien? Yay! Damien Lee's in the house.
So, we swept the West last year. Are we going to sweep the West again this year? Now, we know the Rams, they lost too many personnel. They lost too many bodies to be in any competition. Yes, Matthew Stafford was hurt. Yes, a lot of their players were hurt. But they lost Ramsey. They lost Floyd. Bobby Wagner. 1 year in LA and he had enough. He wanted to go back to Seattle. That tells you a lot about the franchise. Bobby Wagner did not want to stay there for more than 1 year. So he goes back to Seattle. Ram fans that I've been talking to, they're all hype. You know, we drafted good. We drafted this. We drafted that player. We're going to win the West. I'm like, chillax, brother. Chillax. Your Rams ain't winning nothing. You know what your Rams are going to be?
Epic fail.
That's right. They're going to be an epic fail. Make sure to.
For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.
What's up, John? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Yes, sir.
Booyah!
I appreciate that, Damien. So, Rams lost a lot of players. They lost one of their good pass rushers, their middle linebacker. Aaron Donald is still there, but Aaron Donald is getting up there in age. They still have Cooper Kupp, but they have one receiver. They lost Robinson. Matthew Stafford is one hit away from not even finishing the season. And let's be honest, the Rams struggled with us last year. And we added Hargrave to the defense. Nick Bosa. You already know that Eric Armstead, with a decent guy next to him, can be a different type of player. And then I really believe, this is not hyping anybody. I truly believe that Drake Jackson is going to be a stud. He is going to be a stud.
Hell yeah! That's what I'm talking about.
He's going to be a stud, and I cannot wait to see Drake Jackson in the lineup. I was watching tape yesterday on the games that he played for the Niners. Yes, he started really good, and he kind of fizzled out. I guess he didn't realize how long a 17-season NFL team. Plus, you got to remember, last year he finished college. Then he was interviewing for teams to make, he was at the combine. All sorts of things took a lot of out of him. He gained a lot of weight this offseason. He didn't go on vacation. He stayed in Santa Clara, worked out, and bulked up. This kid's going to be special. Hey, Beto, do you think Bosa getting $35 million a year? Ooh-wee. It's going to be up there. I'm going to say around 33. Anywhere between 32 to 33 is probably what we're looking at. But I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 35. And he's worth it, right? I mean, this guy was Defensive Player of the Year. Every time he goes after the quarterback, every time he sacks the quarterback, I hear this. Level up, baby. Level up. We have arguably the best pass rusher in Bosa. We added a beast in Javon Hargrave. He's better than DeForest Buckner. He's better against the run. He's a better pass rusher. And if you remember 2019, when DeForest Buckner was in that lineup, Eric Armstead played his best football. He had 10 sacks. When we lost DeForest Buckner, unfortunately, the pass rush part of Eric went down He's still a great run stopper. But I'm excited to see what he does next to Hargrave. We're going to get into the Brock Purdy and the Trey Lance and the meats and potatoes in a few. I'm just excited about this defense. I'm fired up. I cannot wait to see what this defense is going to look like with Steve Wilks at the helm. This guy is an experienced vet. An experienced veteran. He specializes all defense, but particularly with the secondary. He specializes in the secondary. What is he going to bring to the secondary? What is he going to bring to Talanoa Hufanga, to Sean Gibson, Ward, Shavarius Ward, Lenore, Isaiah Oliver, Samuel Womack, Daryl Luter the Jr., Jair Brown. I've been hearing some crazy stuff about Jair Brown. He has me excited. What's up, Brian? How you doing, Brian? Welcome to the show, baby. Welcome.
For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.
Like and subscribe now. So, this defense is going to be amazing. The secondary with Steve Wilks running the show. I don't want to take nothing away from D'Amico Ryans. I thought D'Amico Ryans did a phenomenal job taking over Robert Saleh. But Steve Wilks comes in with a lot of experience. He has faced multiple offensive coordinators. He knows the tendencies of these coordinators. How is he going to utilize Jair Brown, safety that they traded up to go and get from Penn State? How are they going to utilize Isaiah Oliver and the slot corner? How are they going to use Darrell Luter Jr.? How are they going to use D. Winters and Graham from Purdue? Robert Beal. How much is he going to play in that front line and rotation? Is Austin Bryant going to be able to stay healthy and be impactful for this defense? Is Clinton Farrell going to be able to pin his ears back and just go after the quarterback? I believe that the Raiders really misused Clinton Farrell. They required him to do more coverage than sack the quarterback, and he kind of struggled. I think under Chris Kasarik, all Clinton Farrell needs to do is put his hand on the dirt, pin his ears back, and go hunt. Go and hunt. How many sacks do you think this defense is going to have total? You know, last year, the Philadelphia Eagles were the team that led in sacks. Who's going to lead the NFL in sacks this year? Is it going to be the San Francisco 49ers? Imagine Imagine with me, if you will. Let's get a little crazy, okay? Let's get a little crazy. It is Sunday, June 4th, and it's 7:20 p.m. Let's have a little fun. At the buzzer, imagine Nick Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, and Jackson with double digits apiece. Imagine all four of them having double digit sacks this year. Is it really impossible? I mean, Hargrave had 11 sacks last year from the inside with the Eagles. Bosa had 18 and a half. Now, Armstead needs to stay healthy. And Jackson, I'm telling you, you can save this receipt if you like. Drake Jackson is going to be a beast for the 49ers. This guy's going to be this guy's going to be a player that we're going to be talking about during the season and all off season next year. We're going to talk about his highlights. We're going to talk about his performance. I got a feeling that Drake Jackson is going to dominate that line. And if he does, my goodness, Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw will be able to feast back there. Let's go, Jimmy Buckets. That's right, they're playing right now, huh? I'm fired up, man. I don't know about you guys, but I am fired up. Hold on. Give me a second real quick. Nope. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. All right. Let's see here. All right. So I'm looking forward for this defense to dominate this season. Listen to the defense that we have. We have the front four. We have Fred Warner and Greenlaw. Then you have Charvarius Ward and Lenore. Now Lenore took a minute to get into playing the type of football that we know he can play. Lenore struggled in the beginning of the season. They took him out. They put Emory Thomas. Emory Thomas did a little better. Then they took Emory Thomas out and they put back Lenore once Emory Thomas was struggling. And Lenore never looked back. He never looked back. How good can this secondary be under Steve Wilkes? You already have Lenore coming back as a starter. You already have Charvarius Ward. And then you bring in Isaiah Oliver. Now, to me, Isaiah Oliver is definitely an upgrade to Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward, I loved him that you can use him as a safety. You can use him as a slot corner. I like the versatility on Jimmy, but as a pure slot corner, I like Isaiah Oliver. He has a bigger frame, a bigger body, and he's going to be able to shut down that run game. Wilkes is going to use him a lot in blitz packages. And that's another thing. Steve Wilkes loves to play a lot of man. Now, we're still going to do zone, but they're going to play a lot of man. Lenore, I like Embry Thomas more man than I do zone. Darrell Luter Jr. plays really good man. We know Charvarius Ward can play man. When you play man, you force the quarterback to hold on to the ball just a little bit longer because the players are covered. All receivers are covered. And that gets Bosa, Hargrave, Armstead, or Jackson home for the sack. How good is this secondary going to be, ladies and gentlemen? How good do you expect this secondary to be under Wilkes? Talanoa Hufanga, another year under his belt. Tashawn Gibson, the old vet that played really well. You bring in this kid, Brown. I've heard he had already 4 interceptions, and he could have had 5. This guy's a ball hawk. Jair Brown is a ball hawk. He had 10 interceptions in his career in Penn State. He led the college in interceptions from the safety position. I cannot wait to see what Jair Brown looks like under the tutelage of Steve Wilkes. We're going to do a lot of 3 safety sets. Bebop says, I hope Wilkes shapes up Embry Thomas. I hope so too. This is going to have to be Avery Thomas. He's going to have to make the team. If he doesn't, he will get cut or maybe traded. What's up, Tony Smith? Tony Smith in the house. How you doing, brother? I haven't seen any new players play yet, so I'll have to. No, you're right. And the reality about it is you don't know until they put on the helmet and the pads, right? You have a better idea once they put the helmet and the pads to kind of get an idea how they're going to be. Anybody looks good in shorts. But the fact that we're hearing a lot of great things about Jair Brown already is promising. The fact that we're hearing a lot of good things about Braylon, I always mess up his first name, Willis, the tight end that we picked up in the 7th round out of Oklahoma. We've been hearing a lot of positive things about him. We've been hearing a lot of positives about the linebacker from Purdue, Graham. 7th round pick. But you're right, Tony. They have to put on the helmet and pads. They got to go out and play football. Then we will know. But I do like the fact that we're listening to positive things about these players. And I think that Steve Wilkes brings another dimension to that secondary. The fact that he's going to coach from the booth and not the sideline, that gives him a clear view of the field so that he can make his proper adjustments. Offensively, the true question mark is going to be Colton McKivitz. Last offseason, going into the season, the question mark was Jake Brundle. How is Jake Brundle going to handle the center position? A lot of us were concerned. A lot of us were mad that they didn't draft a center. They didn't bring in a good center free agent. But Chris Forrester and Kyle Shanahan knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, and they went with Jake Brundle. And even though he wasn't great, he had a lot of penalties, he was still good. So, from that perspective, I'm going to tend to believe that they have a control of Colton McKivitz. Is he an upgrade to Mike McGlinchey? Probably not. But is he able to hold his own? I hope so. Because if McKivitz, if he handled his business, I like what I've seen already from Spencer Burford. The fact that he gained more weight, added more muscle, it's going to benefit his style of play as the right guard. Jake Brundle, his second year as a starter at center. You got Aaron Banks at left guard, and then you got the Silverback at left tackle. So it's going to be McKivitz that we have to concern ourselves with, but I got a feeling he'll be all right. I am very pumped up. I like Steve Wilkes. I like the additions that we brought. And we didn't lose a lot of veterans. So I am fired up, Voltron. And Voltron, thank you for joining the show, brother. I think Jake Brundle will do great. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I just got to go based on Chris Forrester and Kyle Shanahan. We were worried. I was worried about Jake Brundle last year. And he did all right. I mean, he made the Pro Bowl as an alternative player, right? Pro Bowl. Not bad. But are we going to get the same response from McKivitz? I hope so. I really, really do. We are knocking at the door. Yes, we are. And hopefully we'll bust the door down. I think McKivitz is an upgrade over McGlinchey pass blocking. All right. I hear you. If McGlinchey if he can hold his own, I like our offensive. I think our offensive line is very underrated. I think we have a very good offensive line, particularly the way that Kyle schemes the plays. We have a wonderful tight end in Kittle. And I just want to say congratulations to the Miami Dolphins, the Miami Heat for tying up the series 1-1. Jimmy Buckets comes through again. David, what's up, brother? The team was ready to start McKivitz last year, so I trust the front office. They told Big Mike they would field calls on him. Yep, they sure did. And the only reason why they didn't trade Big Mike is because they did not get what they thought it was worth getting for. Crazy Juice. What's up, Crazy Juice? ¿Cómo está, amigo?
Thug Life Certified.
Thug Life Certified. I like this right here. Check it out.
What the hell? Oh my God, no way.
Yeah, the Heat won in Denver. That's what they said. You got to either take game 1 or game 2 to bring the game to your court. I don't know. This number 8 seed in Miami Heat, it's definitely a Cinderella story. What a Cinderella story. I think Jair Brown is a serious contender at free safety. I've been hearing a lot of great things about him. I'm fired up, man. Let's see here. Give me a second. I am fired up for what I've been hearing about Jair Brown. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Hold on, guys. I am here. Let's see here. Why is it not? All right, here we go. Let's see here. There it is. There we go. Little bit of Giants, little bit of Niners. Let's go. Quest for 6, family. I'm ready for some football. Yes, sir. Let's go. Lance week 1 until Brock Purdy is ready. Now, let me ask you guys this. Let's start conversating about Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. I wanted Trey Lance to be the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers when we drafted him. I wanted him to be the quarterback of the Niners when we drafted him. Unfortunately, things have not worked out the way we wanted it to work out for Trey. You know, the first year, for whatever reason, Kyle Shanahan stupidly decided not to start Trey Lance and went with Jimmy G. And we sat him for the year. Then we decided that we were going to make him the starter last year. And he was the clear starter, right? And unfortunately for him, he got hurt week 2 against the Seahawks. And due to his injury, he did not get the opportunity to showcase what he can do. And if he was going to have a time to develop, was going to be last year. Last year was the time for him to develop. There was going to be a time for him to develop last year because there was truly nobody behind Trey. Yes, Jimmy was there, but we all knew Jimmy was not coming back. We knew that it was the end of the road for one Jimmy G. It was Trey Lance's time to develop last year, and unfortunately, due to injury, he got hurt. Then Jimmy came on and Jimmy started playing. Now, I believe that if Jimmy would have played through the whole year, they would have still shipped him out and they would have still have Trey Lance come back this year as the clear one, QB1. The fact that Jimmy G got hurt again, and they brought in this kid. They brought in this kid from the small school, 7th round pick the last pick of the 7th round, if you will, Mr. Irrelevant. When was the last time a quarterback that was taken in the 7th round ever threw a pass? Mr. Irrelevant. When was the last Mr. Irrelevant quarterback throw a pass? Never. It's never happened. The fact that Brock Purdy is the first quarterback to do that. Not only did he throw his first pass as a Mr. Irrelevant quarterback, he won 8 games. And I give him that game against Miami. I mean, I love Trey. But the way that Brock, his composure, the way he composed himself, the way he did not allow pressure to get to him, the way he made his reads, the way he was able to control the huddle, take leadership, not be rattled, make his adjustments, go through his progressions, and get the ball accurately to his playmakers, to Kittle. I mean, Kittle's production went sky high once Brock took over. If you remember, Kittle's production wasn't that great prior to Brock. Once Brock came in and he took over, my goodness, did his stock go up. When have you heard of a rookie quarterback, particularly taken in the 7th round, get thrown into a game like Wade Brock did and just take control? I mean, these rookie quarterbacks, sometimes they're so nervous. They got butterflies. They're making mistake after mistake. He can't translate the verbiage from Kyle Shanahan through his helmet, get it out to the offense. There's delay of games. There's always issues when you start a rookie quarterback. But not with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy came in like a freaking vet. Now, he made his share of mistakes. I'm not blind to that. He made his share of mistakes. But let's keep it real. The way he composed himself, the way he commanded the huddle, the way he extended plays, the way he went through his progressions. I mean, that double pump against Seattle, when he pumped to the left, he pumped to the right, and then he threw it down the middle to Kittle. What rookie is doing that? What rookie is doing that? If Purdy is 100% ready to go and he's ready to start, Purdy, if he's at 90, you let Trey start and see what he can do. I also think Trey should play as much as he can during the preseason just to get snaps. There, I agree. Play Trey, play him a whole half in a preseason game. None of this, play him the whole half. Let him get his feet underneath him. Do you think Dwally and Warner could lose their spots? Listen, I don't know about Cameron Latou from Alabama. I haven't heard too much about him. But this kid Willis from Oklahoma has been on fire. Warner and Dwally need to come into camp and battle because they can be without a job for sure. Who's going to be the starting end opposite of Bosa? Whomever it is, that position needs to produce. It can't be all on Bosa to cause pressure off the edge. I hope Drake Jackson can step up. Listen, I'm with you. It needs to be Drake Jackson. I think Drake Jackson is going to step up. I was watching film on him, the game that he did play for the Niners, and he was very impressive. I think this kid's going to be special. But you have Clinton Farrell, you have Austin Bryant, you still have Hyder, who came back. You got some rotational people. You have Robert Beal, the rookie. But if you're going to be dominating at the right side where Bosa's at, then Hargrave and Eric Armstead, even if we don't get great production from the opposite side of Bosa, as long as we get decent production, we should be fine. But if Drake Jackson plays the way I think he will, this team will be a force to be reckoned with. He does. He does. He has that arm. But his accuracy is not that good. I hope I heard he's been dealing with his mechanics. I heard his mechanics are better. I hope Trey Lance proves everyone wrong, including myself, and just dominates. That means we have a great starter and a great backup in Brock. What's up, Leslie? Including Kyle can make this decision until we see what happens in camp. No one. That's a valid point. Warner is the better blocker, so I think Dwelly would be odd man out. Latu doesn't impress me. I don't know what the reasons are for drafting him. Obviously, the Kyle and John Lynch, they seen something or they have a plan. I think they're projecting and what they can convert him to more than the type of player coming out of college. I think they have a vision for Cameron Latu. And they're going to try to develop him into that vision they have for him. Will it plan out? It depends on Latu. Bless you. Latu, bless you. What's up, Eric? Quarterback one is Purdy. They won't rush him. They better not rush him. Trey needs the ball in Yes. Yes, he does. My big, dumb Giants lost again today. They're not going to win them all, Leslie. It's a long season. They're not going to win it all, but let's hope they win enough. Let's just hope they win enough. Davis, that is the truth. Niner brother, if Trey wants this team, he has to light it up during camp. And Brock has to be at least 95%. Okay. QB1 is Purdy. We won't rush him back, though. This will give the Niners and the rest of the league a chance to see what Trey Lance can do. If he plays good, his trade value goes up. If he plays poorly, the writing is on the wall. Not pick up his fifth-year option and potentially cut him this offseason. Wow. I hear you. Oh, check how I have to go. Go Niners. Oh, heck. Now I have to go. All right, Leslie. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Trey needs snaps, but he also needs to impress with those snaps. It's unfortunate for him that Purdy has shown he can ball. So Trey leash would be short. Absolutely 100% agree with you, David. I think the fact that Brock Purdy came in and dominated the way he did, unfortunately for Trey, that developmental window just got small. They're not going to be as patient with Trey as they would have been in 2022 if he wouldn't have gotten hurt. Rudy, what's up, brother? Welcome. That pretty fake up middle to Kittle play might be one of the most fluent. Really, so good. I'm telling you, that double fake. I mean, to do it in Seattle, right? To do it in Seattle under that hostile environment where a lot of teams have a difficult chance of winning Seattle in Seattle. You got this 7th round quarterback, Mr. Relevant, going into Seattle, and he did not get rattled. And to be able to carry out and execute a play like this to perfection speaks volumes of Brock Purdy. And I am an 80s Niner fan and still haven't seen any better QB footage better than Montana. Steve Young might have something to say about that, but to each his own. I'm a big Steve fan. I love Joe Montana. He's the GOAT, 4 Super Bowls, the comeback kid, the 2-minute quarterback, the surgeon, they called him. But I like to watch. I thought Steve Young was more fun to watch. Joe Montana is the better quarterback, but Steve Young was funner to watch, in my opinion. That Purdy ball BA dropped in the corner. Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. That would have been on ESPN as highlights. That would have been on all media networks as the play of the game of the week, man. Probably the play of the year if Ayuk wouldn't have dropped it. That kind of I'm not saying he's Patrick Mahomes. Calm down, everyone. Calm down. But that looked like Patrick Mahomes type of play out of Brock Purdy. And I'm an 80s kid too, by the way. That Purdy ball, okay, I'm sorry, I read that already. Straight up. You guys talking to each other. Kyle believes Brock has what it takes to win 6. They made that plain. Still excited to see what Trey can do. It's just Kyle was able to be creative once Brock Purdy came into the lineup. He was able to untie his other hand. I think Trey for a minute and Jimmy G definitely had his hands tied. I think Brock Purdy was able to allow Kyle to call those plays that he wanted to call because he believed that Brock can execute it. That game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, when Brock threw the INT. Remember that interception he threw? But there was a penalty. And because of the penalty that was against the Bucs, the Niners got the ball back. What happened right after that play? Did Kyle Shanahan call a run play? No. Now, let's keep it in perspective. If Jimmy would have thrown an interception at that point, they would have ran the ball the rest of the game. The fact that Brock Purdy threw an interception, it wasn't an interception because of the penalty. What did Kyle do? He called up a pass to Brandon Ayuk for a touchdown the very next play. If that does not show confidence in Brock Purdy from Kyle, I don't know what does. Kyle believes in Brock. Yep. And this is coming from a Seahawks fan. I am so mad because they didn't have the injury. They didn't have to injure Purdy. Sorry. I knew that the purpose is to stop the other team from scoring, but they didn't have to make it to where he couldn't. Are you talking about the play? And I think this is why they might have brought in Cameron Latu. He's a bigger tight end, more physical. That play that Croft messed up that allowed Rason Reddick to get through and hurt Purdy. I don't think Cameron Latu lets him get by that easy. Maybe that's why they brought him, to be that pure blocker. Yes, he's in love. And this is why I feel that, unfortunately for Trey Lance, his opportunity just got smaller. His opportunity to develop just got smaller after what Kyle's seen in Brock Purdy. It's hard to get away from that. Trey Lance is going to have to come in and just blow Kyle away. He's going to have to blow him away in order for Kyle to honestly give Trey an opportunity to develop. Latu will beat out Dwally and Warner with Kill's help. He has much more potential than Dwally. Now, I like this kid from Oklahoma, Willis. I like that tight end. I don't know if the Niners want to take a chance in cutting him and bringing him back to the practice squad. Does he make it back to the practice squad? I don't know, man. I think if Latu and Willis continue to impress, the odd man out is going to be Warner and Dwally. You think they are grooming Latu to be the big slot to replace Jennings? That could be it too. Remember, Kitto's not getting younger. He can't absorb those big hits down the middle as much. Why not put a young big body like Latu to absorb those big hits and keep George Kittle more healthy? Latu and Willis will both make the team. They drafted tight ends because Kittle's body has taken a beating. Absolutely. I just mentioned that, but I agree with you 100%. But in the flip side, no offense to Brock, but if Trey shows his arm in camp, he's the guy. And reliable number 2 quarterback Sam Darnold. I don't mean you. Well, this is the thing. I like Brock Purdy. But if you get the best from Brock Purdy and you get the best from Trey Lance is naturally the better quarterback because of his height and his strength of his arm. So if you get the best that you can possibly get out of Brock Purdy and the best you can get out of Trey will be the quarterback. But will you get the best out of Trey? That's what we're going to have to find out. What's up, Nick? I don't know about starting week 1. I don't know about Sam Darnold. Can the Niners do what no other coaches were able to do to Sam Darnold? I don't know. What's up, Brad? Niners going to pay Bosa soon. I had to say it, but I think you meant to say, I hate to say it, but after this season, there's going to be some guys who won't be on the team next year, like either Ayuk, Debo, and Kittle. They're going to have to make choices. Yeah? Yeah. I mean, money's going out to Big Trent. Money's going out to Bosa is going to be getting money. Armstead is getting money. Hargrave is getting money. They're going to have to make decisions next year for sure. But the good thing about it is we don't have to worry about that this year. Let's go and get a championship. If we get a Super Bowl ring, it'll be easier to deal with losing a player here and there than it would be if we don't win the championship this year. Let's get that championship. Most definitely Steve Young was so good and so much fun to watch. Such good memories. Yeah, I love the way Steve Young played. He was entertaining for sure. Joe Montana, the better quarterback, but Steve Young was not too shabby himself. Latu is fast off the ball. Brendan Willis too. Yeah. Braden Willis. I want to say, what's the word the first name that I was confusing Brandon with? Brandon? I think I was saying Brandon Willis. Braden, yeah. I got to get that corrected. No disrespect to Willis. Latu and Willis are both making the team. Hate to say this, but Kittle won't be around much longer. And this is the thing. Listen. Kittle's contract next year against the cap is going to be high. You know the saying goes, it's best to trade someone 1 year early than a year too late, right? You guys heard of that. It's best to trade a player a year early than a year too late. You want to trade a good player at his prime so that you can get benefit in capital. And if George Kittle balls out this year, if he has an amazing George Kittle type of year, he will be on high demand in a trade. And that will liberate some of the money that we can use in Brandon Ayuk. Because let's be honest, if we look at the receivers, and McCaffrey is included in that, you got Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, then Kittle. Kittle's the fourth receiver on the team. I know he's a tight end, but pure receiving, Kittle's the fourth receiver. Do you really want to pay all that money for the fourth receiver, even if his name is Kittle? I know I'm going to get a lot of flack. A lot of those that love Kittle are going to be like, are you crazy? I'd rather trade you, Niner Sickness, than trade Kittle. But you have to be realistic. It's better to trade a player a year soon than a year too late. I think Debo might be the one they trade next season. I don't know about Debo. I think I think Debo is so underrated. The things you can do with Debo and Christian McCaffrey are unreal. Not much, Bebop. Back to the States again. Okay, you guys talking to each other. That's great. Do the Rams have enough money to keep the lights on at Levi Stadium South? I don't know, man. They're hurting. You hear the Ram fans, you hear Rudy talk about how they're going to make the playoffs. They got all these draft picks. not only are they hurting this year, but you know how much debt money they owe? Do you know how much debt money the Rams owe for the next couple of years? Now, they got their Super Bowl. You got to give them credit. They got their Super Bowl. But they're paying the price for it, for sure. They're paying the price for it, for sure. Kittle is a beast. I think he will be with the Niners for a while. But again, he's the fourth receiver on the team. Do you really want to pay that much money for the fourth receiver, the fourth option? We can't think about it as a fan perspective. You got to think of it as a business, because that's what it is. It's a business, and business like John Lynch and Kyle have to make tough choices. Not always the most favorite choice, but how do you make your team better? Yep. Ayuk is a true number one receiver. He's going to ball out this season, setting up even more tough choices to make with all the playmakers they have to pay. Oops. Hold on. Yep. No lie there. What's up, Ken? Welcome to the stream. We should all be wanting Trey and Brock to be very successful in this offense. Why would we want to see either fail? I don't understand. Listen, Ken, I'm with you there. This fan base that we love to call the faithful, a lot of them love Brock Purdy and a lot of them love Trey Lance. And I'm not talking about every fan base, okay? It's not every fan base. It's not every 49er fan base. But the majority, if you are Team Brock, then you don't want Trey to succeed. If you are Team Trey, you don't want Brock to succeed. Again, this is not everybody. But I'm old school. The tattoo I have in my hand is the San Francisco symbol, the SF. '49ers. I represent with pride the logo. Now, I love Joe Montana's. I love the Steve Youngs, the Jerry Rice, the John Taylors, the Harris Bartons, the Brian Youngs, the Roger Craigs. I love these players. I have their jerseys. But at the end of the day, I support the logo first and foremost. And who do I want to be my quarterback? The quarterback that gives us the best chance to win. If that's Brock Purdy, great. I'll support him. If that's Trey Lance, great. I'll support him. If that's Sam Darnold, then I will support Sam Darnold because I want to win a Super Bowl. If it's Brandon Allen, which I doubt it, but I'll support him. At the end of the day, it's about winning another Super Bowl. If that's Trey, awesome. If that's Brock, amazing. If that's Sam Darnold, freaking unbelievable. But who do I support? The team that can lead this offense to a Super Bowl. Brad says, here's a question. If Trey looks good in the preseason, early part of the season, do the Niners trade him before? Why would you trade him? Now, earlier I said it's better to trade a player a year sooner than a year too late. But this is for people that have been in the game for a few years, like Kittle. If you're going after a championship, Brad, if you're going after trophy number 6, and Trey Lance is killing it, and you know what Brock Purdy can do, why in the world why would people want to trade Trey Lance? It makes no sense. You keep balling with Trey. God forbid something happens to Trey, then you put in Brock and let Brock do his thing. But when you're pursuing a championship, you want every good player to be on your roster. So no, I don't think they'll trade Trey. I don't think John Lynch is that stupid, nor is Kyle Shanahan. Reedy says, hell yeah, that's my boy at Brad. So Brad, I don't think it would be wise to trade Trey if he's doing well. I think you keep him. I think you keep using him, and then just keep Brock in the wings. Like the movie Top Gun, when you have one plane out doing his thing, fighting, and you have the other one at the wing ready to be called out to flight. That's what we got to do with Brock and Trey. And the same thing with Sam Darnold. That's my honest opinion. I am feeling pretty good about our defense secondary this offseason. I am hearing the rookie Brown has already had 5. It's in OTAs. Now he has had 4 interceptions and almost had 5, but he dropped it. He's a ball hawk. Now people may say, calm down. Calm down, Niner Beto. Calm down, Ken. They're playing in shorts. Anybody looks good in shorts. Right? Wait until the pads go on. Wait until the helmet and the pads go on. True. But the fact that he is flying out there and already has 4 interceptions and OTAs is freaking amazing. I cannot wait to see what we have in Jair Brown. I hear you. Just my opinion that Brock is the guy, and they're going to trade Lance at some point, probably this offseason. Now, the offseason, I can see them doing it. Because Trey wants to play. He deserves to play. So I can see the Niners doing it in the offseason, but not during the season. Especially if Trey is balling. You go with a hot hand and you have Brock in the wings. But I also believe Brock is the guy, Brad. I think Brock Purdy. And, I've been hearing, this whole dink and dunk. It's just, I'm so fed up with the dink and dunks. He don't have the strong arm. He's not tall. Yes, that does hurt Brock. But have you ever heard the term a chihuahua that fights like a pit bull? A chihuahua that fights like a pit bull? All their lives, they've always had to fight against adversity. I'm pretty sure Brock Purdy had to fight against adversity his whole college. You're not big enough. You're not strong enough. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. And what did he do? He came as they redshirted him in college. Then he stepped in. Then he became the starter, and he was there for 4 years. He played a lot of football. He comes to the Niners. He's a 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant. You're not even supposed to make the team. Let's be honest. Let's be honest for a minute. As a 7th round pick, quarterback, Mr. Irrelevant. You're not even supposed to make the team. At the very best, you get cut. They bring you back to the practice squad and they develop you, right? You get cut, get signed to the practice squad, and you get developed. The fact that they decided to cut, I can't think of his name, the quarterback that we gave $2 million in guaranteed, Sudfeld. The fact that we decided to cut Sudfeld, who we guaranteed $2 million in guarantees, they cut him for the sake of not taking a chance with Brock Purdy not making it back to the practice squad. That right there is impressive. Then he comes in and does what he did. People are overlooking that. Oh, he's not that tall. He doesn't have a strong arm. He won 8 games. He won 2 playoff games. His first 2 playoff games he won against Seattle, a team that always plays us hard. Pete Carroll knows the Niners, and we beat them. The Cowboys, with that defense, Parsons in that defense, and we beat them. He had a better game than the idiot over there with the Cowboys. And I really believe he would have, I can't say we would have beat the Eagles, but we would have gave them a run for their money with Brock Purdy healthy. It's unfortunate he got hurt. But what this kid was able to do, I mean, think about it. He grew up loving the Dolphins. The reason why he chose 13 is because of Dan Marino. You're there to watch the Niners that you're currently on face the team that you and your family grew up loving and supporting, right? Here comes in Miami. The whole week, the student against the master, the student against the teacher, right? Mike McDaniels against Kyle Shanahan the whole week. And Miami Dolphins were playing really good football coming into Levi's. And Jimmy gets hurt in the very first series. Imagine being Brock Purdy. You're sitting there, you're watching the team that you grew up loving and supporting. You're in the sidelines. You're like, oh my God, look at Tua. Look at, he's looking at all these players on Miami, right? He's taking it all in. The next thing you hear, hey kid, put on your helmet. You're going in. What? Put on your helmet, kid. You're going in. Can you pause for a second and realize what must have been going through Brock Purdy's mind at that particular moment? Oh, shit. I'm going to play? He would have made mistake after mistake after mistake. Being a rookie, being put in like that when you're not prepared. Now, he kept himself prepared, but to be tossed in there, going in there as a rookie, 7th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, going against the team you grew up loving, and you bring the Niners from behind and you beat them, he was poised. He didn't look like a rookie. He looked like a vet. That pass to Kittle when the defender was in his face was incredible. He let that ball go with the defender in his face. He knew he was going to get hit. And yet, he still completed that ball. What's up, 49er Minded? What's up, Bash? Welcome, welcome. Let me read a couple of the comments before they get away. Seattle is going to be tough this year. Niners going to be in a battle with Seattle for the division this year. Rams and Cardinals will be battling for the top 5 draft picks. Yeah? Listen, as long as Pete Carroll and his chewing ass is there, that team is always going to be competitive. Geno Smith must have drank out of the fountain of youth, or in his case, the fountain of how to play quarterback. Their secondary is pretty good. Now, the only downside about Seattle, they don't have a pass rush. And let's face it, Bobby Wagner is not the Bobby Wagner of old. He is still his presence. You still have to take his presence notice, but he's not the same player. Fred Warner is the best middle linebacker in the NFL and definitely in the West. He has dethroned Bobby Wagner in the last few seasons. I have worked for Iowa State University the past 17 years. And I can tell you, Brock Purdy changed the atmosphere of that football program. It's not doing so well without him now. Ooh, Ken, I'm going to have to bring you on my live one of these days, sooner rather than later as a guest. And I would love to ask you about Iowa State and the atmosphere that Brock Purdy was able to change. Our defense was top 2 last year. No, they were number 1. Don't get it mistaken, Roberto. Niners defense were number 1 last year. They did nothing but improve. If Drake Jackson goes off, it will be 2019 vibes all over again. Let's go.
Booyah!
Let's go. I love it. Every team that we face, we're going to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is what we're going to hear after week 1. That's what we're going to hear after week 1, because we're going to kill Pittsburgh. When we go to Levi South, Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay, rest in peace. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Terradome. What's up, Terradome? Welcome to the channel, my friend. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Show me some love, guys. My goodness. This secondary is going to be elite under Steve Wilkes. Jair Brown. Can he be defensive rookie of the year? Oh, who knows? That'll be interesting. The last Niner that took that title was in 2019, Nick Bosa. It's going to be fun to see what Jair Brown does in this secondary. Am I focused? Hold on. All right. Sometimes I go out of focus. That's right, baby. Let's flex. Talk about flexing. Talk about flexing. Your boy Drake Jackson looks like a beast in that interview. Dude looks big. I'm telling you, this kid is going to be special. I believe Geno is still the same quarterback he was with the Jets. Well, listen, I don't like the Seahawks, but I give credit where credit is due. Geno Smith is now playing better football with Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks. And I want him to be successful, not against us, but I'm rooting for Geno Smith, the underdog. But against us, he can suck. Where is it at? Let me see here. So against everybody else, you can be great. Against us,
You suck.
that's right. You suck. I think Oliver is an upgrade at nickel. Absolutely. He is an upgrade from Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward was versatile. Play him at corner, play him at safety. He had the versatility to do so. But if you're looking at a pure slot corner, Isaiah Oliver is your guy. And I cannot wait to see his performance on the field. Lenore is only going to get better. Darrell Luter Jr. will challenge Lenore. I believe he's going to challenge Lenore. But I think Lenore will step up to the task. I like this kid Lenore from Oregon. When he came out with Embry Thomas was taken in the 3rd round, and Lenore was taken, I believe, in the 5th round. A lot of people were hype on Embry Thomas. I still like Embry Thomas. I still hope he's become successful with us. But I always said, this kid Lenore is going to be special. And he hasn't disappointed. At least not to me. I have not liked Pete Carroll since he left USC and his players holding the bag. Can't respect a guy like that. Now, I never said I respected him. But he's a good coach. He develops players. I think Embry is odd man out in the D-back room. He's going to have to work his ass off. If he wants to impress anybody back there. My boy, Lenore. That's right. Pete can cheat. Pete the cheat. That is funny stuff, man. That is
the correct answer.
That's right. Let's go. We've been going over a little bit over an hour, and you guys have been amazing. We're 35 people strong still in here. My goodness. I love Sunday Night Football. I love this defense. I love this offense. I love special teams. Jake Moody. A lot of people were not hyped or excited that we took Moody in the 3rd round. I understand why people feel that way. I do. But listen, Trey Sermon did not work out. TDP is still, the jury's still out on him. Jalen Hurts didn't work out. Could you draft a kicker in the late rounds or an undrafted kicker? Listen, there was 2 kickers out of all that separated themselves from the pack. One of them who led the charge was Moody. The other kid is the kid that went to the Patriots. And you heard the Patriots. They moved up, I think, 14 spots, or if not 18 spots, to go and get this kid in the 4th round. Let's see if he plans out for us. This is Kinlaw's last chance to prove himself. For what I've been hearing, Ken, is that he has been healthy. I know we heard this before, but he has been as healthy as he's ever been. Complete healthy. The fact that he's not going to have to be the starter, he doesn't have to be an every down player. He's going to be a rotational piece. This may benefit Kinlaw. This may benefit the 49ers. Imagine if you pulled Eric Armstead on a play on the outside and you put Kinlaw and Hargrave in the middle. And you want to stop the run. Who's going to get by? Who in the heck is going to get by Kinlaw and Hargrave? Javon and Javan. It's going to be fun to watch. I think as a rotational player, he'll be okay. As an every down D tackle, maybe not so much. Everyone, please like and subscribe to my boy Niner Sickness. Thank you, Roberto. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
For more awesome content, like and subscribe now.
Appreciate the love. Like I like to say it, please wipe your feet before entering and smash that like button. If you're watching me on Facebook, whether it's the Niners Empire, whether it's Niners Sickness Podcast, whether it's my main page, if you get an opportunity to go over to YouTube as a favor to me, go and subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to YouTube, hit the notification bell so you're notified. Even if you watch me on Facebook, that's fine. But if you can go over to YouTube, show me some love, and just subscribe to my channel. Everything's in the links in the comments below. You can click to my YouTube channel. It'll take you directly there. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. That would be amazing, and I would truly appreciate that. You can also follow me on Twitter at NinersSickness49. I would appreciate it. You can follow me on IG. I post a lot on IG at Niners Sickness Podcast. I would appreciate that very, very much. I do TikTok videos. Check out my TikToks at Niners Sickness Podcast. Go support me in my TikTok videos. El fanático de los vaqueros está en la casa. Sácate con tus pinches vaqueros de mierda. Aquí puro red and gold. Los Niners de San Francisco y qué, Holmes. Just messing around. I'm messing around, bro. You support your Cowboys even though they suck, bro. You support them because that's the team you like. But that's what I think about your Cowboys. So, we're going to have a great year. We're going to have a great year. Our secondary is going to be much better than it was last year because of Steve Wilkes. Our linebacking core is going to be great. Our defensive line is going to be amazing. We're going to score points, and we're going to stop opposing offenses on scoring points. This, as long as we stay healthy, as long as the damn injury bug does not hit us, we will have a great year. ¿Por qué odias a los? Okay, hate is such a bad word, man. Harsh word. Why are you going to hate, bro? Why are you going to hate on the Niners?
We interrupt this program to bring you an important announcement.
The Cowboys suck. The Niners are stacked on both sides of the ball. Deepest team in the NFL. Absolutely. We got to figure out a quarterback situation. But this offense, this roster is stacked. Great general manager, great head coach, arguably the best play caller. We are stacked. Can Trey Lance or Brock Purdy or even Sam Darnold lead us to the promised land? Who's going to get us to the promised land? Is it going to be Trey Lance? Is it going to be Brock Purdy? Or is it going to be Sam Darnold? I just want to get to the promised land. I just want to enjoy the 6th Lombardi trophy, to be raised and to be put in the shelf next to the last 5. Oh, I am so sorry, my friend, but hating the Niners, is a Cowboys fan. Listen, I grew up in the 80s, bro. I know all too much about the rivalry of the Cowboys and Niners. Back in the 80s and early 90s, we didn't care who we played during the season. The Super Bowl didn't even matter back then. The Super Bowl was always the NFC Championship game between the Cowboys and the 49ers. That was the Super Bowl back then. Anybody else was just a team you had to step on to get to the NFC Championship. But it was always about the Cowboys and Niners, and that rivalry was strong. And we're starting that rivalry again, it seems. And we're 2-0. Last year and the year before, your team look who it is, my brother from another mother. Quelch Chronicles is in the house. What's up, my brother? Chef Borio D. You've been watching my barbecues, huh? How you doing, brother? God bless you, man. Good to see you, my friend. I say the big question mark are the right side of the O-line and cornerback. I agree, though, if we stay healthy, we will be competing for the title this year. I think Lenore is really going to step up, Brad. I'm with you on the O-line. I don't know what Colton McKivitz is going to do. I don't know if McKivitz is going to be able to hold his own. But I think Lenore will be able to hold his own. Especially with a secondary coach like Steve Wilkes. That's only going to make him better. My starter is the starter. Absolutely. Whoever it is.
Ha, ha, ha. Very funny.
Ha, ha, ha. Very funny. En la escuela secundaria, por esto estoy hablando en español. Mi primer lengua era español. Yo aprendí a hablar español primero, luego después inglés, pero afortunadamente perdí el español porque toda mi familia murió y mi esposo no habla español, mis hijos no hablan español muy bien, entonces no practico yo el español como lo platicaba antes, pero lo sé leer y lo puedo hablar, pero prefiero hablar en inglés. Yeah, English was my first, Spanish was my first language, but I lost it when my family started to pass away. I lost both of my parents. My two sisters passed away. People that I used to talk to consistently in Spanish are no longer here. My wife and kids, all the English, they speak a little bit in Spanish, but not enough for me to continue to carry it as I used to. So I try to watch some novelas. I try to listen to some shows. There's a guy that does 49ers in Spanish. I like to watch him, but he loses me. He talks some words. I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So, great guy. I can't think of his channel, but the dude is awesome. 49ers en español. I would be so great. It would be so great to win that 6th ring this year. Winning number 7 in 2026. Ooh, Super Bowl. When we host a Super Bowl at Levi's, that'll be nice to win another Super Bowl, wouldn't it? Número 7. Yep, tell him, Brad. Tell him. And after that game,
Epic fail.
For the Cowboys. So it's going to be interesting to see who we play this year. Not who we play. We know who we play. How we play them, I should say. The Steelers, the Rams, and then we open up at home against the freaking Giants. Let me turn this off. Hold on, guys. We go against the Giants, and they're not a bad team. They're pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see how we play in that game. Before I call it a night, let me know in the chat, what are your predictions? What are your predictions this year based on the roster and based on the teams that we play this year? Who is your favorite all-time player, not a 49er? Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders. Don't even hesitate. Barry Sanders, I love to watch him play. The vision he had as a running back was amazing. A lot of people they prefer what was his name for the Bears? I can't think of his name right now. Or Brown, who just passed away for the Cleveland Browns. But for me, it was always Barry Sanders. The way he played for Detroit when they had no offensive line. And that kid was special. Great question, Couch. Sweetness. Yes. Sweetness. Oh, yours is Sweetness. All right. I'm trying to think of his first name. Can't think of it. Ten and 7, huh? That's probably the Cowboys record. But I don't know. Walter Payton. That's right. How can I forget about Walter Payton? Yes, everybody's Walter Payton. Stupid. I know. I don't know. Here, I'm going to buzz myself. That's what I get for not remembering his name.
You think you're funny, do ya?
Now we're going through 13 and 4. It don't matter. Listen, crazy guy. It doesn't matter what your record is during the year. At the end of the year, if you do play us again in the playoffs, we're just going to bounce you. We're going to bounce you like we did the last 2 years. So, bounce, my little friend. Pinches Cowboys. All right, guys. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for a great show. There's still a lot of you in here strong. You guys are awesome. Continue to support me. Support my channel, YouTube channel, Niner Sickness Podcast. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go make your way out over there. I would appreciate that. Continue to support me in my Facebook groups. You guys are amazing. Brad, it was nice seeing you in my chat, bro. I hope this is not the first and last time. I would love to see you back in the chat again. Thank you for all your great questions. You kept this live pretty interesting. 13-4 or 12-5 will be. We will win the division again. Finish with either the number 1 or 2 seed in the NFC. Niners versus Eagles rematch in the NFC Championship game, and the Niners move on to the Super Bowl. I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Let's go. I predict we sweep the division again. It's going to be hard. You know how hard it is, honestly, Roberto, to sweep a division? Teams know each other so well. It's going to be hard to beat Seattle. But I'll tell you what, if we go into Seattle on Thanksgiving and we kick their ass in a fashionable way, then yes, I will believe we will sweep Seattle. But that game on Thanksgiving in Seattle will tell me, even if we win that game, but depends how we win it, whether we sweep Seattle or not. Stay up safe and blessed. I can't do it.
Yee! I need help. I need a lot of help.
Crazy Juice says,
Awesome show.
Bang, bang, Niner gang. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Niner Sickness Podcast. Continue to follow me, support me. I go live random. I have a show on Fridays with my co-host, Jess. And our new channel is called Niners Now Podcast. Make sure to check us out. Until then, peace and God bless. Let's go.